All right. Severe behavioral issues. All right. You have an autism specialist working with him. Now, I know a little bit more about your situation just because, we're the ones that helped you out in getting all this stuff in place. So I guess my question is, it sounds like things are going good, but when you say the autism specialist, is that somebody new, or is that the behavior analyst that we had inserted into your situation that has just been ongoing? Now the school system's going to provide you a one-to-one dedicated aide as you start to integrate back into general education, and that's good. The key components here are going to be to have that behavior analyst, and I don't know who this autism specialist is. I'm assuming it's going to be the behavior analyst. I'm praying that it's going to be the behavior analyst that we put into place, because I don't know who this autism specialist is. And when I hear a word like specialist, so I need to know I need to sort of understand the parameters, the ethics. I need to be able to touch it, feel it, smell it, that kind of stuff when it comes to these titles that are created out of thin air. So I'm going to assume that that's who you're talking about, and if that's good, that's good. That should be what has been in place and stayed in place. Because that would be the reason why your child's making progress to the point where now we're ready to start integrating into the generalized setting. So that's good. Now, with the one-to-one aid, and so you're sitting there going, well, okay, does that mean that the paraprofessional or the one-to-one aid would be in charge of instructing my child? No, they should not. Now, can they reinforce concepts? Can they work with your child to redirect and be a support to not only the general education teacher or the resource teacher? Yes, all of those things. But as far as individually instructing, no, they don't have the ability to do that, or they shouldn't be doing that. I have seen that to where there's a growing number of IEP Team, they'll insert that the instruction will be done by the teacher or the paraprofessional, and they're running a huge risk there. Now, you mentioned autism in the same breath as dyslexia, and let me just go ahead and throw this out there. And I'm not saying that a child can't be autistic and dyslexic. They can, obviously, all right? The one thing that I want to just sort of throw in there is that autism, high-functioning autism especially, is going to have a lot of similarities to dyslexia, but it's not dyslexia. It's autism. All right? So, those of you out there that have an ASD kid, just please keep in mind that the very nature of autism, high-functioning autism, is you're going to see some very similar markers like processing speed issues, language deficits, and expressive and receptive communication. Also, high probability of deficits when it comes to pragmatics, which is social communication, and a lot of our academics are tied over to social communication as well. In achievement, you're going to see a lot of the same markers with regards to math and reading, written expression deficits. Those things are going to be sort of natural deficits in the autism realm. A lot of those are deficits in the dyslexia world as well. Now, does it make a hill of beans? Well, yes and no. The only thing I ever caution parents when it comes to, you don't want to overdo it. All right? Keep it simple. I'm not going to say stupid, but KISS is what I'm going to tell parents. And just like educators, you want to keep your IEP team singularly focused on what can reasonably be accomplished. And I tell you, when I have parents go into these IEP meetings and their child has 15 diagnoses, it's not good. Your child may have 15 diagnoses, but what you're doing is now you're creating a mental block, a natural one, for your IEP team. And a lot of human beings are just going to look at your child and go, well, that kid's screwed up. And, our job is to make the child comfortable and, get them to do as much as they can. Kill them with compassion. Instead of reducing it down to what the school district can attack so that we can focus on what your kid can do. Instead of all of the diagnoses that appear, not necessarily legitimately, but appear as obstacles to their progression. And at that point, it's the parents that they want to go in there and say, my child has a rare genetic, deletion and this and this and this. And you're talking about human beings that do not understand genetics, do not understand medical science, those kind of things. And so you sit there and you go, yeah, okay, so how does it manifest? Oh, well, they say it manifests like autism. Okay, but then have it be autism. Instead of your rare genetic deletion, whatever, that can be back there, but keep it to yourself. How does it manifest so that your IEP team can stay singularly focused on the peer-reviewed, scientifically known treatments and approaches to help your child progress along their IEP goals? And so that's always a danger point, is that you got autism, ADHD. Well, I don't know of I can tell you right now, I don't know of my own child is autistic, and that kid, she has serious ADHD and ADD issues. Then do I run out and get her an ADD and ADHD diagnosis? No, I don't need to. She has autism. And I want my IEP team focused on that. And yes, of course, she has reading and math deficits that manifest a heck of a lot like dyslexia. Do I need to run out and go get a dyslexia diagnosis? No, I don't. My kid has an IEP for autism. And therefore, I know the peer-reviewed, scientifically known treatments for that. And I know how to help her overcome those deficits with her reading. And that is almost exactly the same kind of approach that I would use for my clients with dyslexia. Identifying the right reading program that is peer-reviewed, scientifically based for their learning style. Guys, I don't know of a reading program that isn't peer-reviewed and scientifically based. They all hold that out there. Doesn't mean that it's right for your particular child's style of learning and how they understand material. You have to address the language deficits because that's going to be a huge, huge factor with regards to your child's ability to make progress in the written expression world. So I know that that's a sidebar, but I saw that in there, and I don't want you to go chasing after ghosts when you have everything already there for you to sit there and address the issues with regards to the reading and the comprehension and the processing speed and the written expression. You already have all those things there, and keep it focused. Okay?